Hey everybody, hope you're having a great holiday season and New Year's is coming up. Oh, very quickly, we have Geography Now t-shirts. You can get these now. They're really cool. We also have Geography Now coffee mugs. You can get them. Look at that. They come with the artwork and everything, the logo. For the first time, yeah, I've never done merchandise before. So yeah, you guys can get these. There's like a link. So as you know, New Year's is coming, and in light of that, I kind of wanted to talk about the topic of new. This is a topical video I wanted to do for a long time, but I never had time because I was always researching all those countries for the country videos. What are the newest islands on Earth? Before we jump into this though, speaking of new, we have a new sponsor for Geography Now. Yeah, we got another video game sponsor. I don't know why, but video games seem to like Geography Now. But I'm cool with that because everybody likes video games. Now, if you're like me, you grew up with classic RPG games. And Hero Wars is a customizable, upgradable battleground where you can pick your own army with unique skills and weapons, train your guards and healers when on offense, and fend off invaders with warriors and wizards and everything in between. Hero Wars is an online communal game available on Android and iOS. And if you download the game in the link in the description with the promo code HEROSECRET, you will get an upgraded hero to start your battle. Thanks Hero Wars for sponsoring Geography Now. Anyway, the cool thing about planet Earth is that it is a terrestrial planet with a silicate mantle. Basically, that means we have lava. And that means new land can form. This is a very unique thing that not a lot of planets have. And even to this day, you can still witness new land being formed. So today we're going to talk about the newest islands that have been formed on Earth. Many islands have been formed in the past, but they have unfortunately been washed away or eroded by the waves of the oceans. In this list, we're going to talk about the islands that have breached the surface of the ocean and are still standing today. So let's jump into it. Number 1, Tigres Island, which became an island in 1962 in Angola. Now, if you watched the Angola episode, you will know exactly what I'm talking about. Tigres Island actually used to be a peninsula that used to jut off the coast of Angola. Over time, though, the ocean waves from the Atlantic broke off the isthmus that connected the peninsula, and then it became an island. Unfortunately, though, this meant that the people that were living on that peninsula were cut off from the mainland. The pipeline that brought in fresh water was destroyed, and to this day, Tigres Island is a ghost town. Virtually nobody lives there, and nobody pretty much can live there because all resources were cut off. So anyway, yeah, Tigres Island. Island number 2, formed in 1967, Surtsey Island off of Iceland. Again, if you watched the Iceland episode, you will know exactly what I'm talking about. Back in the 60s, a ton of people were noticing that a huge underwater volcano was erupting, and it kept going on for about 4 years until it finally stopped and created Surtsey. Over the years, it has eroded a little bit, but it still stands today. Today, only biologists and volcanologists are allowed to go on the island to study it. It's very rarely open to the public, but yeah, it was a pretty big event that happened in Icelandic history, and it is speculated to still stand above water for about another 100 or so years. Surtsey, volcanoes, woohoo. Island number 3, discovered in 2005, Greenland's Uunartoq. I think I pronounced that right. Uunartoq. The Greenlandic language is so weird. You got like the q and sounds. Anyway, now one thing you have to understand about the Arctic and Antarctic areas is that they always go through a freezing period and a melting period in the summer and winter times, obviously. But in 2005, US explorer Dennis Schmidt noticed something. After sea ice had melted substantially in the summer of 2005, it turns out that this strange island with 3 peninsulas had actually been detached from the mainland. And since it was discovered this way for the first time, it was then hence qualified as being a new island. And that's where you get in the whole debate where geologists are like, well, does sea ice count if it connects a landmass to another landmass? And then some will say, well, if it's perpetual ice, then yes, but if it's not, then no. But the point is, this was the first time it was discovered, so it kind of counts. Yeah, Greenland, yeah, new island. Next one, discovered in 2006, Tonga's home reef. Now, if you don't know anything about Tonga, which by the way, I am so excited to do that episode when it comes up. Tonga is like one of the world's fastest growing inland area countries on the planet. And the reason why is because Tonga lies on the Tonga Trench, which is basically a smashing point between 2 tectonic plates. Or in simpler terms, it's a huge volcanic area underwater. Tonga has a lot of places where lava just kind of bubbles up and creates new islands. It's amazing and it's beautiful. Now, this place was actually already known of for hundreds of years, but it wasn't until 2006 when things really started to bubble up. A team of oceanographers and sailors noticed that large amounts of floating pumice and volcanic debris were coming out of the ocean until it finally breached the surface. To this day, the volcanic eruption is still going on. Of course, you know, nobody would ever actually try to land on that area because, you know, the volcano is still kind of erupting, but you can see it. Next up, discovered in 2013, Russia's Yaya Island. Located in the New Siberian Islands in the Laptev Sea, with a length of about 370 meters by 125, the Russians got lucky by discovering it. This small little wonder expanded Russia's exclusive economic zone by about 452 square kilometers. I mean, not like anybody was really competing with them anyway, but eh. Basically, a cargo helicopter was flying by and they noticed it. And then in 2014, 2014, a research vessel sailed by and officially confirmed its existence. Basically, the island was discovered because it was under a bunch of sea ice and was never noticed before. After the ice melted, bam, a new island popped up. That's the tricky thing about the Arctic. You don't really know what's under the ice. Okay, my natural lighting is dying out. I'm gonna have to turn on my light to lighten up this room. See, I always film these things at like the worst possible hours, and then the light goes down from the sun, and then I have to turn on this light. Anyway, the next one, Japan's Nishinoshima Island. Basically, just like Tonga, Japan lies on a bunch of trenches and tectonic plate smash zones. Now, it was already known that this island had existed in an underwater caldera in the 70s, but it wasn't really until 2013 when things really started moving. Soon, a volcanic cone formed, raising the island to an estimated height of 142 meters above sea level. Oh, sorry, I just did a little bit more extensive research, and it turns out this island was already known of back in the 1700s. The Spanish ship the Rosario passed by. But yeah, basically the big part of the island hadn't formed until 2013-ish, and eruptions are still going on, and to this day, the land makes up about 3 square kilometers. And finally, the world's most recently formed island and still standing today, Tonga's Hunga-Ha'apai Island. Now, this is a weird one because this is kind of like a volcanic eruption that happened between 2 islands and kind of connected them. Hunga-Tonga and Hunga-Ha'apai, which is why they decided to name the new island Hunga-Ha'apai. It's like just put the 2 together. Anyway, eruptions were noticed as early as maybe 2009. However, it wasn't really until 2014, 2015-ish when the eruptions breached the surface of the sea and attached both of the 2 islands. Now, Tonga has a lot of submarine volcanic activity, and when this type of thing happens, the superheated rock is forced up to the surface. This is because the chemical reaction between the ash and the water allows it to turn into hard rock, whereas in other areas, it just kind of washes away. This is why Hunga-Ha'apai, I love saying that, is only the 3rd volcanic island known and recorded to have survived more than a couple months. A few people have actually been able to go to the island and document it, and it's really cool. It just kind of looks like this surreal lunar landscape type of area. But yeah, that's about it. Keep in mind, in this list, I only included the naturally formed islands, not the man-made or land reclaimed islands that have happened throughout history, and I did not include the islands that have previously formed but then got washed away by oceanic currents, such as the USA's Shelly Island, Yemen's Jadid and Sholan Islands, Kavachi in the Solomon Islands, and Zalalako. And I didn't really include the North Frisian Barrier Islands off the coast of Germany. I mean, they're still there, but they're kind of like always underwater. They're like sandy shoals. I don't know, maybe they count, maybe they don't, I don't know. We'll do another episode on like tidal islands. That's a really cool phenomenon too. But anyway, yeah, I really wanted to do this episode because I thought it was really cool. The newest islands in the world. Yeah, that's about it. Thank you for watching. Subscribe if you'd like. And here's to the new year. Stay cool, stay tuned.